What's up, Scoop Start channel? My name is Erica Kruppen, and I'm really excited for the interview today. I personally love doing interviews because I get to shine light on our community members and awesome small business owners. Today, I have the opportunity to chat with Missy from Doo Squad.
Hi, thank you for having me.
Thank you so much. It was really nice to chat with you briefly at ScoopCon because it was crazy
Mhm.
there. So I'm really glad that we're able to circle back and have this opportunity one-on-one.
Yeah, there was a lot going on. We were on a boat, and the trip was such a whirlwind and such a great experience. And the Swoop Scoop did an amazing job executing that entire experience for all of us. And we're already looking forward to next year. It was like AI. None of it seemed real. It was just so pristine and perfect, and a really great place to network with everybody and get to know everyone.
Well, I agree. Because I want to talk about ScoopCon a little bit later, can you just tell the listeners a little bit about yourself and about the business and how long you guys have been in business for?
So, Doo Squad has been in business. We're on our 10th year, and 10 years of success here. I am the director. I wear many hats. I am HR, I am payroll, I am the boss of the sauce, and I pretty much run all the operations. And I have a personal background in marketing and logistics, and I apply that everything I've learned thus far to our operations. Right now, we have a lot of clients, and I think we're at 2,200 five-star reviews thus far.
Woo! That's amazing.
And we're cooking. I mean, we're in our slow season, but you wouldn't know it. So I work for an amazing CEO. Todd is, unlike any person I have ever worked for before, and I hope to never work for anybody again. He's just been a phenomenal mentor to me, and really is the type of person to give his shirt off his back for anybody. And we all appreciate him. Our staff, we just love him to bits. And you don't get very many opportunities in life to work for someone that is just so inspiring and such a great human being. So we have quite an awesome office space, and I always refer to it as the poor man's Google. I know I told you a little bit about our space. We have a Zen room, we have a gym, we have a puppy play area, we have a warehouse of wonders where we fabricate a lot of things. We store our product. We have a shipping, fulfillment center. We all have our own offices that are themed, and we were given a budget to, build our dream office space. So right now I'm at my home office, but I would have loved to have given you a little tour, and maybe we could do that again. But I just can't say enough great things about Doo Squad.
When Josh and I left, Josh is my husband, we were
Mhm.
kind of reflecting on who we talked to and who we didn't get a chance to talk to. But Josh specifically was like, "Did you get Todd's information?" And I said, "I didn't." But the good thing is I'm pretty well connected. So
Mhm.
I did want to get in touch because he took the time while we were all sitting there and was telling me a lot about the industry,
Mhm.
and you were as well. But my question, have you been with the company the entire time or did you join later?
I came on 4 years ago, about 4.5 years now. And just at the end of COVID, coming into small business for me was a little, little nervous about it. I've always worked for large Fortune 500 companies. I've never worked in the small business. Um, but Todd and I started out working in an office smaller than this room, back to back. And, within about a year, we expanded into this, wonderful emporium that we work in every day. So it just really, we hit the ground running together, and we've been a dynamic duo ever since.
So, if you don't mind me asking,
Mhm.
with you working with Fortune 500 companies and then seeing a small business and you're like, it's a poop scooping business too, which isn't super well known.
Mhm.
What was going through your mind, and how did you have confidence to know, like, I'm going to come to this company and I'm still going to have a job in a year?
Yeah, I mean, it was definitely a hectic time. We're coming out of COVID, and at the time, being put on furlough for a really large corporation that we didn't know what was going on. I knew I wanted to do something different, and then backtracking about 4 years prior to that, I had just moved into Sacramento. I'm a Bay Area native, and I had seen Todd's car drive by on the freeway. And I remember calling, my roommate at the time. I had taken a picture. I was driving, but I took a picture, and my marketing brain started scratching, and I went, that's genius. That's funny. That's great. I'm going to remember that. I'm going to walk, and I did. And I saw that Indeed posting for, an operations manager. And I went, that just I felt everything in my core and my gut that this was magic, and it was meant to be. So walking into that, yeah, you're still a little nervous, what you're used to. And this is completely different, but I was able to build from, he gave me carte blanche of make this your own. And, and he didn't know everything. And I had more of a, corporate background, and he had, he's an entrepreneur. He's an excited ideas guy. And, marrying those two things, it just really worked. But yeah, I really didn't give him a choice. I said, I'm working for you.
Oh, I love that. I hope that I can find a Missy one day in my area.
He always says if he could clone me, it would be great. It would be perfect.
Take over the world.
Yes.
So right now we're all smiles and we're laughing. We're coming off the highs of ScoopCon. But I mean, let's be real, business is tough. Can you share some, like, just a little bit of insight and like maybe a struggle that you guys are having right now and you're trying to overcome?
I think a lot of our, issues right now is really trying to get too complicated. And we've had to really kind of think back and go, you know what, we're making this bigger than what it needs to be. We're making this procedure bigger than what it needs to be. And we're just trying to reinvent the wheel all the time and perfect and perfect and perfect. And, just in having so many breakout sessions and, brainstorming sessions, which we do at the drop of a hat all day long. Going back and really refocusing in on simplicity. And I think that's really the key is, you're not going to please everybody. You can't, and this is what I've stressed to so many people over the weekend that I spoke to is, you have In-N-Out Burger. In-N-Out Burger has 3 options, and they do them and they do it well. Mm-hmm. And if the service you're providing is, top tier and you do it well, you don't have to throw on all these little enticing things to make everybody happy. Just what you offer, do it and do it well, and surround yourself with talented people.
Ooh, I love that. And what makes you guys unique? Well, at least to me, because I don't offer deodorizer. Mm-hmm. I offer just scooping right now, and I've been wanting to just focus on that. But I have been getting requests for deodorizer, and I've been a little nervous because the products that are on the market right now that I've seen, they're a little bit complicated. Sure. They scare me a little bit because it's like, don't get it on your clothes because it might bleach. What if I bleach somebody's $5,000 patio furniture? Right. Okay. Right. And so during ScoopCon, you guys, to me, it was like a debut thing, a product that you offer as a deodorizer. So I'm going to stop talking. Can you tell us a little bit more about it?
So the pain point, what you're saying is what everybody said. And, the hesitancy of, offering a product that, there's not a lot of training. There's not a lot of, everybody's just kind of figuring it out, So we have formulated this product because we have experienced all the pain points. The, clogging of sprayers, our backpack sprayers is a huge one. A lot of the retail products on the shelves, your Simple Greens, your EnviroWash, whatever the words are, they're all the same. And they're packed with essential oils. And those essential oils, yes, they're great. They're wonderful, but they clog the crap out of your sprayers. And you're constantly, you've got, you're having to reschedule people. Oh, my sprayer went down. You got to run a technician, another sprayer. We've experienced it all. And we wanted to eliminate that hassle. So this formula was, really originally, we did it for ourselves. And, we wanted the high concentration of enzymes to knock out those stinks. We're in Sacramento. It gets hot here. It stinks, summertime especially. And we are, summertime, we get so many calls, I've got flies. It stinks. It's this, it's that. And we just really wanted to have something, and we've tried them all. We've run the gamut. And this formula is, it does not clog your sprayers. I am not replacing sprayers. I am not getting calls saying, oh, my yard still stinks, come back out. This stuff packs a punch. So it was originally, meant for us, for our, and for us to keep. And this was our secret. And we're finally, have been convinced by several other poop scoopers to share this with them. And then, and then getting in touch with Will, we've decided, okay, we'll open this up for everybody. But, as far as our usage for it, I mean, it's been such a game changer for us.
Okay. Can we dive a little deeper?
Sure.
Because these are all questions that I'm thinking in my brain. The first one is, what's the difference between deodorizing and sanitizing?
So deodorizing, we are neutralizing and combating that odor. Sanitizing is where you're getting into chemicals and, possibly needing, depending on where you are, most states you need an applicator's license, and that's a lot of tests, a lot of certifications. You have to train your staff under you, potentially more insurances, and a lot more things can go wrong, and the application time on those is crazy. So with the deodorizing, we find that, we don't have, when customers call in and ask for sanitizing, we always pivot and say, look, we can't sanitize your yard, but this is what we can offer. We can neutralize those odors. And most of the time, the reason why they're asking for sanitizing is because it stinks.
Yeah.
And that's really what they care about, so that, the difference is, night and day in, the product themselves, but the goal is the same. So why are we doing this, where we've got, we need hoses, we need PPE gear, we need all these things, and the prep time, just prepping, you've got to use barriers and worry about gray water runoff, and all these things. And chances are you're not charging enough for all that time, all that effort, and all that product that you're purchasing, and you're at a deficit there. So with this, all you need is to find a water source, a hose that is available, or fill your gallon up before you start your day, and you're putting in the right ratio, and boom, and you can spray a house in 30 seconds. So it's really one of the most beneficial, the only beneficial add-on we provide, aside from front yard service. And we just started filling water bowls because, we've had so many requests for it. So, but this has been our signature add-on.
Okay, you said enzymatic.
Mm-hmm.
Some people don't know what that means. Can you just dive into that a little bit?
So the way I explain it to my customers is, if you imagine a Pac-Man, and you've got, and this is your natural enzyme bacteria. Once it gets wet and it's water activated, it starts eating away at the odor causing bacteria in the yard. The chemical reaction, I'm not a scientist. This is just what our scientist tells us. So, and I know it works because I use it on my carpet. I have a little corgi that is potty training. So we explained to the customer, when the enzyme itself comes in contact with that odor causing bacteria, it's essentially eating the the toots of the bacteria, and it's going like this. And as the natural terrain gains moisture, whether you water your lawn, whether you have rain come down, anything like that, it's creating moisture. It's multiplying that Pac-Man more and more and more and more. And the more layers we lay down on that grass, or any terrain really, grass, bark, we can spray it anywhere. It's going to generate that moisture, and it's just going to keep multiplying.
Is it safe to actually apply on a dog if a dog gets skunked?
That's not a question I've ever gotten. I personally wouldn't advise it, just because it's not what it's intended.
Gotcha.
But I do know that, our technicians have, sprayed it in the air and got it on their face. And I mean, it's all natural. So coming in contact with the product, there's no concern of color fastness. There's no chemicals in it. It's an all natural bacteria. So, safety aspect, there is a safety data sheet, but it's not for chemicals,
Gotcha.
I personally, I would be a little hesitant of dousing my dog in anything that's not intended for. But I would say the, potential for a hazard is very low.
Okay. All right, cool. And then this sounds like a really good add-on. What are people charging for this add-on?
So we recommend, if you're first starting out, try offering it to your customers, $25 per application, for once a month for 1 to 2 dog households. You can offer anywhere between 25. Right now we're in summer season because it's our slow season. We just increased it to 38 per application, and we've got no problem selling it.
Are you spraying the whole yard or just hot spots?
So the hot spots. So where you scoop is where we spray. So we make sure we always manage our customers' expectations when we are explaining to them the service over the phone of, we're not spraying every square inch of your yard. We're spraying where we scoop, where we detect odors. And we always reassure them, like, you know what? Our guys are doing 47 houses a day. They know where the poop is, and once they're confident in us and what we're doing, it's out of sight, out of mind. They set it and forget it.
Oh, okay. I love that. I'm so happy that you were at the ScoopCon, because this has been a really heavy question for me, and people ask me on my YouTube channel all the time, and I've bought other products before and they just sit there. I haven't used them because I've never felt confident to actually, put it out there. So this education is amazing.
Yeah.
So my other question is how did you hear about the Poop Scoop Millionaire community?
We had started using Sweep and Go. This was almost 3 years ago. We had actually fancied Swoop Scoop's web page, and we were like, oh man, this is great. This is what we want to do. And, I did some digging research, found out that, Augie, they were using Augie software. And, so we got invested with Augie and transferring all of our systems over to Sweep and Go. And I'm still growing my hair back from that whole transition. My eyelashes and my hair, they were all gone. Once we really started networking with Augie and really opening up to the community, because we've always been outliers. We've always been really kept our cards close and, didn't do a lot in networking. And, we've always been very protective of what we have. And, because I know what we have is something really great and something really magical. But, once we opened that door and we felt comfortable, and we had gotten in touch with Will, connected with Augie, with Sweep and Go, and was invited into the school. And, and then Will, learned about our product and, really liked what we were doing, and they started using it. And it just really took off from there. So this has just been, a really nice experience to network with, other people that want to talk crap with you. You know, it's such a drastic change from what we're kind of used to, you know, being on our own and, you know, being the lone wolves. So it's pretty cool.
And I appreciate it because the larger companies, when they open up, it really helps the smaller companies just try to even like just figure out simple stuff that it's like for the smaller companies, it's so hard. But as somebody that's been through it,
Mm-hmm.
it's like it's almost like a no-brainer. You're like,
Sure.
because you can kind of see that stuff. With you at ScoopCon, you were a presenter, and I
Mm-hmm.
know how nervous I was.
Mm-hmm.
I was so nervous leading up to it. When you set your nerves aside, did you have any key takeaways that you got from the other presenters?
I feel like everyone else was so natural and, you know, comfortable. You know, you did a terrific job, and I really felt connected with, you know, what you were saying, and really, you know, showing the raw emotion of the, you know, struggles of, you know, building this business from the ground up. I mean, it really is taxing on your, you know, your mind, your emotions, your spirit. So, I really resonated with your words, and you know, all the speakers really had, you know, I felt a strong connection with, because, you know, we all share in the struggle, and we all share in these, oh God, you know, when they're talking about the cars getting wrecked and this, and, you know, this is our daily grind. This is what we've, you know, come to know is our, you know, chaos that we, you know, experience every day. So as far as our presentation, I felt, you know, of course you're always a little self-critical, and, you know, I wish that dang clicker thing worked a little better. And
Oh, I'm watching my video because I'm watching it back, and I'm like, because I was trying to click at the TV in front. I was like, that darn clicker.
yeah, that clicker was not my best friend. And, you know, and
I'll have
I had
nightmares about that clicker for years.
I had gotten a little feedback at the on the boat. You know, they were giving me a hard time for saying hella. You know, I'm from California, and I mean everything's hella. I forgot I'm not in a room with my, you know, Californians, you know, and so they were cutting up on me saying hella profitable, but I thought that was pretty funny. It's just, you know, that's our slang. That's what we say.
No, I liked it. That's a common theme is well, I've asked a few people, and when we start to get around other business owners, we realize that we're all going through very similar struggles, maybe at different times throughout
Sure.
our journey. And when we're home and we're around other people, we feel lonely, we feel like the man out, we feel like people don't understand. So
Right.
getting in rooms like that, it like validates the abusive relationship
Sure.
you're in.
Oh
What?
yeah, no, and we're all in the same support group, you know, and that's the greatest thing about it, and that's what's really, you know, this week coming out of con, um, it just really, I always say scratch my brain, because, you know, you think, even us, I mean, we've done and seen it all, you know, and there was just so many new ideas and so many things where like, we haven't thought of that. And it's coming from somebody that's, you know, fairly new to the game. So it doesn't matter where you're at, you know, if you're a one-man stand or you're a seven-figure operation, you know, everybody has really great perspectives and ideas to, you know, bring to the table, and, you know, and just talking to each other. It's phenomenal. I mean, my takeaway out of there was just, I was inspired. You know, I've been inspired, you know, browsing through the school, and unlocking all the different, you know, classrooms, and learning things that I haven't, you know, didn't think about. So it's been really phenomenal. I really enjoyed the camaraderie that we experienced.
Yeah, I really like what is the 100 customer challenge in schools.
Mhm.
I'm super stoked about that. And like you
Yeah,
said, talking to the new scoopers, because it's different. The game has changed. Things have changed so much. So talking to them, getting insight on like how things are different now, it's
right.
like you said, it's very refreshing. And getting around people that are like excited. Because sometimes in business, you're just like, oh, day in and day out,
Mhm.
groundhog day every day. And just
Right.
just feel that excitement. It's like, okay, let's get it. Let's get recharged.
Exactly. Yeah. And I felt recharged. I felt rejuvenated. I felt recharged. I've been kind of clawing at the walls here on my vacation, like, just trying to work still and get ideas across, and talking to Todd back and forth. And he keeps telling me, turn your phone off, and I'm like, I want to do things. So, but yeah, it was a really amazing experience, and really, felt like such a professional retreat for me to relax and unwind, but also still be working and, capturing all those new ideas and fun different things that, in marketing. I mean, we're always looking for that edge in marketing. So the newcomers and the smaller operations, I mean, they're really, pounding the pavement, trying to set themselves apart. So, I mean, they just really have some great ideas that I've been, kind of going like this too. So it's really cool.
Yeah. So where would you like to see your business 1 year from today?
Double.
That's a hefty one, because how many customers did you say you guys are at?
A lot.
A lot? Okay. So you're going to be at a lot.
A double of a lot. Yeah. Yeah.
I love that. I love that. Okay, as for ScoopCon, we had a really good time, solid speakers. We're doing another one in 2026. William officially announced it there.
Oh, nice.
What would you like to see at the next ScoopCon?
Definitely more of Jim. He was just phenomenal to be around, and the stories, that was such a great open, good cold open. I think everything was laid out really well. I think maybe a little shorter on the next day, just for, our own, trying to kind of pack everything in, but and having a little more time for experiencing where we're at, wherever we choose to be. But aside from that, I think, I love the focus of, diving into the real raw experiences of everybody, and that's really where I got the most. I mean, I've done the Google Analytics, I know the, SEO stuff. I mean, it's all great, but that's not my wheelhouse, but the real raw stories and the success stories is what really grip me. So definitely want to see more of that. And I want to see the people that, I shook hands with over the weekend. I want to see them, presenting next year is what I would like to see.
Ooh, I love that. That's some really good feedback. All right, so if there's somebody that's, let's say, within their first year in business, do you have one nugget you can give to them to have a better second year?
I think just from my own experience, hire well, um, slow to hire, quick to fire. Don't stress yourself out about, I know the labor market and it's different in different areas. Know when to hire, and you'll kind of grow that sixth sense as you go. And another thing that I kind of told you is, we have a saying that we say often is, well, now we know next time. And that's just something that, it happens to everybody. It happens to us every damn day. And, we're no different than, the one man stand. I mean, it just is. So, surround yourself with talented people. And those talented people don't necessarily need to be have a bachelor's degree or a master's degree. I know Todd. I mean, I have definitely have my degrees, but Todd has never been a degree snob, and really takes people in of what and recognizing their talents. When you down to your technicians, to your operations, everything, surround yourself with talented people, and be open and to being challenged, and don't put your blinders here, listen to your team, open your floor and open those ideas up and keep the conversation going. And I think that in doing that really helps you to get a great perspective of what you're doing, and don't don't box yourself in. And adapt, really adapting and really moving swiftly, because you could wake up tomorrow and suddenly you got 100 new clients and one person that can help you out part-time, and you got to suddenly you're scaling, you're moving. So just be quick to adapt and plan your week out, but always know that it's going to change in the drop of a hat.
Oh, I think I really struggled with that because I really like consistency, and because because I'm a control freak, and
Yes.
so I like the consistency.
Yes.
When things went off, I really had a hard time until I'm like, this is the name of the game. If you can't get comfortable with this, you're never going to be successful. And last year really taught me that. So now, just like what you said, now I know for next time.
For next time. And they call me the chaos coordinator, so I wear that badge of honor. And it's all controlled chaos, and I love every minute of it. I love the unknown, and structure is great. I love structure, and I always strive for that. But the chaos gets me going, and it keeps my heart pumping. So I love that, and I love we're throwing all the papers in the air and doing something different today, and it's exciting. So this business has been the most exciting thing I've ever done.
I love it. If the listeners want to get in touch with you or want to know more about your product, how do they get in touch with you?
So they can go to yardodordestroyer.com, and they can purchase their product. We are extending our 10% discount for another week. We came back from con, and the orders were going like this, and Todd just said, let's do it another week just for funsies, and open it up to the entire group. So not just the ScoopCon attendees. So if you go to yardodordestroyer.com, enter the coupon code ScoopCon10, I'm sorry. And that will give you 10% off your entire purchase. So that's extended out from a week from Tuesday, I think, is when we announced it.
Okay.
And as far as getting in contact, you can go to the website and hit the contact me, and send me a message if you need to know how to sell it, if you need to know ratios, anything about the product. I'm your gal. I'm your point of contact. I have been, just elbow deep in this for 4 years, and I know it inside and out, and I can sell it with my hands tied behind my back and with blindfold on. So, and I'm happy to help anybody that needs some guidance.
All right, perfect. I'm definitely going to be in touch, and I would like to chat with you again, but over on my podcast.
Sure. Anytime. I want to give you a tour of our place. I mean, I reached out to you before, and our communication kind of fell a little flat. We were on other things. You were doing things, and but I think we could connect. I'd love to give you a tour of our one house of house of imagination.
I would absolutely love that. That's kind of one of my goals, is to do like shop tours, and yours is like so cool. I just need a sponsor. Next time you want to sponsor a shop tour?
Yeah.
All right. Well, cool. It was really nice chatting with you. We'll go ahead and we'll wrap this up, but we'll stay in touch, okay?
All righty. Thanks, Erica.
Bye.